Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, today I want to talk about the incredible power that lies in the words we speak at the very start of our day. Every morning is a new canvas, a fresh page in the book of your life, and what you declare upon waking is the ink that writes your destiny. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that life is not a battle but a game, and our words are the moves that shape the outcome. When you speak faith instead of fear, gratitude instead of complaint, and victory instead of defeat, you align yourself with divine order, and the universe begins to bend in your favor. You're not just wishing for change, you're commanding it, declaring it into existence with the authority God has already given you. This is not empty talk, but a spiritual law. As you speak, so shall it be. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, before your feet even touch the floor, you are standing at the threshold of creation. Those first few moments are sacred, for they set the tone for everything that follows. The thoughts you allow to take root and the words you choose to speak act like seeds planted in the fertile soil of a brand new day. Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized that our words are not idle chatter, they are powerful decrees that go forth and begin shaping circumstances in alignment with what we have spoken. When you understand this truth, the morning becomes more than just a time to wake up. It becomes a time to deliberately design your day with purpose and intention. Every sentence you speak is like a spiritual blueprint handed over to the Creator, instructing the universe on what to build for you. When you rise and speak words of faith, hope, and gratitude, you are programming your mind and your environment to align with the highest good. It is not enough to merely think good thoughts. The spoken word carries vibration, energy, and authority. It resonates in the unseen realm and begins to gather together the circumstances that will fulfill it. Imagine your words as the rudder of a great ship. No matter how vast the waters of life may be, the direction of your day is steered by that small but mighty rudder called your tongue. The first declarations you make upon waking send your ship sailing toward peace, prosperity, and divine alignment. Consider how easily we can fall into the habit of starting the day with complaint, worry, or dread. The alarm goes off, and instead of blessing the day, we curse it by speaking about how tired we are, how much we don't want to face our responsibilities, or how stressed we feel. Those words do not vanish into thin air. They create a pattern, an energetic current that shapes the next few hours. But when you decide to guard those early moments and speak only life, you interrupt that negative cycle and create a new, powerful one. You are saying to the day, I know who I am. I know the authority I carry. I know that good is coming to me, and I welcome it now. This is why morning declarations are not merely a motivational ritual. They are a spiritual discipline. They train you to take dominion over your day, instead of letting the day take dominion over you. Florence Scovel Shinn would remind us that the game of life is played with faith and words, and each day gives us a fresh chance to win. The moment you declare, "This is a blessed day filled with favor, joy, and abundance," you have already tilted the scales in your favor before the challenges even appear. It is not about denying reality, but about deciding which reality you will magnify with your focus and speech. The problems may come, but they will find you already clothed in strength and confidence. In those early minutes, your subconscious mind is most open, most receptive. It has not yet been flooded with distractions or noise, and the words you speak sink deep into that fertile soil. That is why many spiritual teachers emphasize speaking aloud first thing in the morning. Whisper it, declare it, sing it. It does not matter, as long as your words are intentional and faith-filled. Even if your physical eyes see no change yet, your words are the first bricks in the foundation of what is to come. You are building a day that will serve you rather than drain you. Think of it as tuning an instrument. Before a concert, a musician carefully adjusts each string or key so the sound will be beautiful and harmonious. Your morning declarations are the tuning of your mind, heart, and spirit. If you begin in harmony, you will carry that resonance into every conversation, decision, and encounter. People will feel it in your presence, and situations will be drawn to match that frequency. This is not magic, it is simply the way spiritual law operates. What you send out returns to you multiplied. Some may dismiss this as too simple, too easy to make a real difference. But that is the beauty of it. The greatest truths are often the simplest, yet their effects are profound when practiced consistently. One morning of positive declarations may feel good, but when you make it a habit, you begin to see the compound effect. Your mood shifts, opportunities begin to appear, solutions arrive faster. It is not because life suddenly became easier. It is because you aligned your words with the life you desire rather than the life you fear. Your speech in the morning becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and as Florence Scovel Shinn would say, you have equipped yourself for victory before the battle even began. Words are not just sounds that pass through the air and vanish. They are living forces that carry intention, emotion, and creative power. Every word we speak is like a command issued to the unseen, directing the energy around us and within us. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life responds not to what we wish for silently, but to what we boldly declare aloud. When you speak something, you are not only informing your own mind, but you are impressing that idea upon the spiritual substance from which all things are formed. In the realm of spirit, words are instructions, and the more faith and conviction you infuse into them, the stronger their effect. This is why the words you speak, especially in moments of clarity and focus, can shift the course of your entire reality. Your mouth is like the pen of a skilled writer, and every sentence you utter is inscribing your future. The subconscious mind is always listening, always receiving, whether or not you are aware of it. When you say, I am blessed, I am favored, or I am strong, you are sending clear, concise orders to both your inner self and the universal laws that govern life. You are affirming a truth that may not yet be visible, but the moment those words leave your lips with conviction, they begin to gather the conditions, people, and opportunities that will make them visible. This is not wishful thinking. It is the activation of a spiritual principle that has existed since creation itself. Let there be light. And there was light. Words carry the power to call things that are not as though they are, and in doing so, they bring them forth. The mistake many people make is speaking without awareness of this law. They declare their limitations, their fears, and their frustrations without realizing they are giving them more strength. Saying, I can't, I never, or it's impossible, is not just harmless venting. It is issuing commands to your own life to keep you bound. The energy behind those words shapes your perception, and your perception shapes your actions. Over time, the life you live becomes a mirror of the language you have been using. This is why learning to speak with intention is not merely a motivational exercise. It is an act of reclaiming authority over your reality. When you choose your words with care, you begin to see them as spiritual tools rather than casual expressions. Instead of saying, I hope things get better, you can say, things are improving for me every day. Instead of saying, I never have enough, you can declare, everything I need comes to me in perfect timing. These statements are not empty. They are aligned with the truth that you are a co-creator with God, and what you speak in faith will find a way to manifest. Even in the face of challenges, holding to this kind of speech keeps your focus on solutions rather than problems, which in turn draws solutions to you more quickly. It is important to remember that the spoken word is not just for others to hear. It is for your own soul to absorb. Your voice has a unique vibration that your mind recognizes as authority. When you speak aloud, you are reinforcing your beliefs and solidifying them in your subconscious. Silent thoughts can wander, but spoken words carry weight. They have the power to shift your emotional state, realign your thinking, and ignite your faith. This is why affirmations, prayers, and declarations have been used for centuries across cultures and spiritual traditions. They work because they are commands to both the mind and the spiritual realm. When you start to see your words as commands, you begin to speak with greater discipline. You guard against idle talk that drains your energy and avoid conversations that reinforce lack, fear, or defeat. You replace negative phrases with life-giving ones, even in casual speech. Over time, this shift in language changes not only how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. You start to feel more empowered, more confident, more capable, because you are no longer undermining yourself with careless words. Instead, you are continuously planting seeds of success, health, abundance, and joy. Think of your words like a boomerang. What you send out will eventually return to you, often multiplied. If you speak kindness, it will come back. If you speak prosperity, it will find its way to you. If you speak faith, you will find yourself living in the very things you declared. This is why it is so vital to make every word count, to speak as though your life depends on it. Because in truth, it does. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her readers that the word is your wand, and with it, you can direct the magic of life itself. The question then becomes not whether your words have power, but whether you are using that power to create the life you desire, or the one you fear. Gratitude is not merely a polite response to something good. It is a magnetic force that draws more of what you desire into your life. When you speak gratitude aloud, you amplify its power. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us that what we praise, we raise, and what we give thanks for multiplies. Gratitude spoken aloud is like a spiritual signal to the universe that you are open, receptive, and ready for more blessings. It's a declaration that you recognize the hand of God in your life, even in the smallest details, and that acknowledgement invites even greater manifestations. When you wake in the morning and begin to list aloud the things you are thankful for, you are shifting your energy from lack to abundance, from worry to trust, and from fear to faith. This shift is not subtle. It transforms how you think, feel, and act throughout the day. When gratitude is expressed verbally, it takes on a vibration that reaches beyond your own mind. Your voice carries it into the atmosphere, reinforcing it within your subconscious and sending it outward like a beacon. The very act of speaking gratitude activates your awareness of blessings you might otherwise overlook. Suddenly, the air you breathe feels like a gift. The bed you slept in becomes a reminder of comfort and safety. The opportunities before you, no matter how small, begin to shine with possibility. This is the beauty of spoken gratitude. It tunes your perception to see abundance where you once saw emptiness. And because life reflects back the state of your consciousness, this shift in perception begins to attract more circumstances that match the energy of appreciation. Many people keep gratitude locked in their minds, thinking it silently but not giving it voice. While silent gratitude is good, spoken gratitude is far more potent because it engages not only your thoughts, but also your body, your breath, and your emotional energy. It transforms a fleeting feeling into a bold statement of truth. When you say aloud, "I am grateful for the opportunities this day will bring," you are not only acknowledging what you already have, you are creating space for what is yet to come. You are speaking into existence blessings that have not yet arrived, but are already on their way. The law of attraction works in harmony with gratitude because both operate on the principle of focus. Whatever you focus on expands, and gratitude focuses your attention on what is working, what is beautiful, what is supportive in your life. Even in seasons of difficulty, there is always something to be grateful for. A lesson learned, a friend who cares, a moment of peace, a spark of creativity. Speaking these things aloud transforms them from abstract comforts into living truths you can hold on to. The more you give thanks for, the more reasons you will have to give thanks. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke about the importance of acting as if your desires have already been fulfilled. Gratitude is the purest form of this practice, because when you thank God for something you have not yet received in the physical, you are acting in faith that it is already yours in the spiritual. This is not pretending. It is aligning your words and your heart with the higher reality in which all things are possible. Saying aloud, "I am grateful for the financial abundance flowing into my life," even before you see it, creates a magnetic pull that draws opportunities, ideas, and resources into your awareness. Your spoken gratitude becomes a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Another powerful aspect of spoken gratitude is that it shifts your relationships. People are drawn to those who express appreciation because it makes them feel valued and seen. When you speak words of gratitude to others, thanking them for their help, their time, their kindness, you strengthen connections and open the door for more collaboration, support, and goodwill. This relational abundance is just as important as financial or material blessings because it enriches your life with trust, mutual respect, and joy. The energy of gratitude is contagious. When you speak it, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can transform entire environments. Gratitude also transforms the way you handle challenges. When you are in the habit of speaking thanks for the good, it becomes easier to find reasons to be grateful in the midst of trials. You may begin to thank God for the strength you are developing, for the wisdom you are gaining, or for the doors that are closing to make room for something better. Spoken gratitude shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is right, which in turn empowers you to move forward with hope and resilience. It doesn't mean ignoring the problem. It means refusing to let the problem define your reality. Speaking gratitude aloud in the morning is like opening the windows of your soul and letting in fresh air. It clears away the stale energy of yesterday's worries and fills you with a renewed sense of possibility. This is why so many spiritual teachers encourage the practice of starting and ending your day with verbal expressions of thanks. In the morning, it sets the tone for everything that follows. At night, it seals the day in a vibration of peace and contentment, preparing you for rest and renewal. Over time, this habit becomes second nature, and your life begins to mirror the abundance you have been giving voice to all along. Florence Scovel Shinn would say that when you speak gratitude, you are declaring your trust in divine order and affirming that you live in a friendly, generous universe that responds to the vibration of your words' faith-filled affirmations are more than just positive statements. They are declarations of truth that override the voice of fear and doubt before it has the chance to take root. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that faith and fear are both forms of belief. One believes in divine provision, the other in lack and limitation. The words you choose determine which belief will dominate your mind and, ultimately, your reality. When you speak affirmations rooted in faith, you are training your thoughts to align with what is possible instead of what is probable according to human reasoning. You are building a shield of spiritual protection that keeps your inner world steady, even when the outer world seems uncertain. Fear often disguises itself as practicality or caution. It whispers reasons why your dreams are too big, why your goals are unrealistic, why you should lower your expectations. If you do not challenge it, fear will quietly dictate your choices, shrinking your life until you are living far below your potential. Faith-filled affirmations are your way of answering back. When fear says, "You can't," you respond with, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." When doubt says, "It's too late," you declare, "My times are in God's hands, and nothing good is ever withheld from me." In doing so, you take authority over your thoughts before they have the power to influence your actions. Affirmations work because they interrupt the mental patterns that feed anxiety, insecurity, and self-sabotage. The moment you speak them aloud, you are shifting your attention from what could go wrong to what is already promised to you in spirit. Your words create a new focus, and your focus shapes your emotions, decisions, and habits. Over time, this consistent redirection builds a mental environment where faith naturally flourishes and fear has no room to grow. Just as a gardener pulls weeds before they overtake the soil, you are removing the seeds of doubt before they sprout. The power of a faith-filled affirmation lies not only in the words themselves, but in the conviction with which you speak them. Anyone can repeat a phrase. But when you declare it with belief, when you speak as though it is already accomplished, you are engaging the spiritual law of assumption. This law says that what you accept as true in your heart will eventually become visible in your life. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke about acting as if you have already received the good you desire. Faith-filled affirmations are an active way of doing this because they allow you to embody the state of having, even before you see the evidence. It is important to note that affirmations are not meant to deny reality. They are meant to align you with a higher reality. You may be facing financial strain, yet you declare, "I am divinely provided for, and abundance flows to me now." You may be dealing with illness, yet you affirm, "Every cell in my body radiates health and vitality." These statements do not ignore the present circumstances. They claim the outcome you choose to live in instead. This is not wishful thinking, it is faith in action, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Speaking faith-filled affirmations consistently transforms how you respond to life. Challenges that once overwhelmed you begin to lose their power because your first instinct is no longer panic. It is proclamation. Instead of magnifying the problem, you magnify the promise. You begin to look at setbacks as temporary detours rather than final destinations. The words you have trained yourself to speak in the quiet moments become the same words that rise up within you when the storms come, keeping you anchored and unshaken. Another reason faith-filled affirmations are so effective is that they reprogram the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It simply accepts whatever it hears repeatedly, especially when charged with emotion. By filling your daily speech with affirmations of victory, provision, health, and favor, you are feeding your subconscious the instructions it needs to create a matching reality. This is why it is essential to speak these affirmations daily, not just when you feel inspired. Consistency is the key to replacing old patterns of fear with new patterns of faith. Over time, you will notice that these affirmations become second nature. They will rise to your lips without effort, not because you are forcing them, but because they have become the language of your heart. People around you will sense a shift in your energy. Your confidence will grow, your decisions will become bolder, and your peace will deepen. You will no longer speak from a place of hoping something might work out. You will speak from the certainty that it is already working out in your favor. This certainty is what draws opportunities, resources, and solutions to you, often in ways you could not have planned or predicted. Faith-filled affirmations also have the power to inspire others. When you speak words of faith in conversations, you are planting seeds in the minds of those who hear you. Your conviction becomes a mirror for them to see what is possible in their own lives. Without preaching or persuading, you lead by example, showing that a life rooted in faith is not free from challenges, but it is free from the grip of fear. Florence Scovel Shinn would say that when you fill your mouth with words of faith, you are not only blessing your own life, but also becoming a channel for divine encouragement to flow into the lives of others. Speaking as if blessings are already here is one of the most powerful ways to activate the law of expectancy and invite those blessings into physical reality. Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized that faith is demonstrated not by waiting to see before believing, but by believing so deeply that you speak and act as though your desire is already fulfilled. When you speak in the present tense about the good you are expecting, you signal to your subconscious mind and to the spiritual realm that you are ready to receive. This readiness creates an energetic match between your inner world and the outer conditions that will bring your words to life. The act of speaking as if is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning your speech with the higher truth that what you seek already exists in spirit, waiting for you to claim it. The universe responds to certainty. When you speak about your blessings as if they are far away, you keep them at a distance. But when you declare, "I am living in abundance," I am surrounded by divine favor, or I am walking in perfect health. You collapse the gap between desire and manifestation. Your words create the emotional state of having, and that emotional state is the magnet that pulls the physical manifestation toward you. It is much like setting a table for a guest. You don't wait for them to arrive before preparing the space. You prepare in advance because you fully expect them to come. Speaking as if blessings are here is your way of setting the table for what you have asked for. This practice also shifts your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is waiting for change, you begin to embody the identity of someone who already lives in that reality. Your decisions, actions, and habits naturally align with that version of you. For example, if you declare daily, "I am financially free," you begin to think like someone who is financially free. You make wiser choices, attract opportunities, and recognize resources that were invisible to you before. Your words are not only shaping your environment, they are shaping you into the kind of person who can sustain and enjoy the blessings when they arrive. One of the challenges people face with this practice is the tension between what they see and what they say. The physical evidence may seem to contradict the words coming out of your mouth, and doubt can creep in. This is where understanding spiritual law becomes essential. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the invisible precedes the visible. Everything is created twice, first in the unseen, and then in the seen. Your words are part of the creative process that moves things from the unseen realm into physical form. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it isn't real. By continuing to speak as if, you keep the channel open for manifestation instead of shutting it down with words of doubt. The language you use has a direct impact on the energy you carry. If you speak as if you are still lacking, your body and emotions will match that state. But if you speak as if you already have what you desire, your body and emotions will match that state instead. You will carry yourself with more confidence, act with more decisiveness, and radiate an energy that attracts alignment. This is why so many people notice that once they start speaking as if, opportunities and connections begin to appear unexpectedly. It's not coincidence. It's the result of vibrational alignment created by consistent, faith-filled speech. Another benefit of speaking as if is that it eliminates desperation. When you talk about blessings as though they are already yours, you step out of a mindset of chasing and into a mindset of receiving. Desperation pushes what you want away because it is rooted in the belief that you don't have it. Confidence, on the other hand, draws it toward you because it rests in the belief that it's already done. Speaking as if keeps you in a state of calm expectation, which is one of the most fertile mental states for manifestation. You no longer beg or plead. You thank and affirm. Consistency is key with this practice. Saying it once is like planting a seed, but repeating it daily is like watering that seed until it grows. Over time, your subconscious begins to accept your affirmations as truth, and once it accepts them, it will work tirelessly to create the external conditions that match. Even if your logical mind resists at first, persistence will eventually override the resistance. It is the same way people can talk themselves into fear by repeating fearful statements. Except here, you are talking yourself into faith by repeating faith-filled statements. Speaking as if also deepens your relationship with God because it demonstrates trust. You are not waiting for visible proof before expressing gratitude or certainty. You are honoring the divine order by acknowledging that what you asked for has already been set in motion. In prayer, this is the essence of believing you have received. You begin to pray less like someone making a request and more like someone giving thanks for a gift already in hand. This shift in tone is not only more powerful, it is more peaceful. It allows you to live each day with the joy of knowing your blessings are not a matter of if, but when. And that, when, is always closer when you. The consistent daily declarations are like the steady rain, the hardest drip of water that shapes even the hardest stone. They train your mind to expect and receive good until it becomes second nature. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke about the power of repetition in building faith and dissolving fear. One positive statement spoken once may inspire you in the moment, but it is through repetition that the truth of that statement becomes embedded in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the silent architect of your life, constantly working to create experiences that match the beliefs it holds. By feeding it with daily declarations of abundance, health, joy, and favor, you are giving it clear and consistent instructions to build a life in alignment with those words. The beauty of daily declarations is that they shift your default thinking. Most people wake up and immediately allow old patterns, worries, and limitations to run the show. But when you begin your day with intentional speech, you take control of the mental atmosphere before anything else has the chance to take hold. You begin to live from the inside out, shaping your day with your words instead of letting your circumstances shape you. Over time, this practice changes your mental reflexes. When a challenge appears, your first thought is no longer fear or doubt, but a declaration of faith and possibility. Consistency also builds momentum. Each time you repeat a declaration, you strengthen the neural pathways in your brain that support that belief. It's the same way muscles grow stronger through repeated exercise. In the beginning, you may have to remind yourself constantly, but as you persist, the declarations start to feel more natural. What once felt like something you were trying to believe becomes something you simply know to be true. This is when your declarations shift from being mere words to being your living reality. Another powerful aspect of consistency is that it keeps your energy aligned with your goals, even when external conditions fluctuate. Life will always have ups and downs, but daily declarations act as an anchor. They hold you steady during storms because they remind you of the truth you have chosen to live by, rather than the temporary appearance of circumstances. Florence Scovel Shinn called this standing on the word, refusing to be moved by outer appearances and continuing to speak what you know to be spiritually true. In this way, daily declarations are not a passive ritual, they are an act of courage and perseverance. The subconscious mind loves repetition, and it does not tire of hearing the same thing. In fact, the more you repeat a statement with feeling, the more your subconscious accepts it without question. This is why negative self-talk is so damaging. It is simply a declaration repeated often enough that the mind takes it as fact. The good news is that the same process works for positive and empowering beliefs. By replacing words of limitation with words of abundance every single day, you are reprogramming yourself to live in expectancy of good, and expectancy is a magnet for manifestation. Daily declarations also create a rhythm in your spiritual life. They become a form of prayer, meditation, and mental conditioning all at once. You begin to look forward to speaking them, not as a chore but as a source of strength. The more you speak them, the more you notice little confirmations throughout the day, unexpected opportunities, moments of peace, people showing kindness, that reinforce what you have been declaring. These small signs build your confidence in the process, making it even easier to keep going. It's important to understand that the power is not in the words alone, but in the belief and feeling behind them. This is why speaking them daily is so effective. Each repetition deepens your emotional connection to the truth you are declaring. At first, the words may feel mechanical, but with time they begin to stir genuine excitement, gratitude, and certainty. This emotional charge supercharges your declarations, giving them greater creative power. When you combine consistent repetition with strong feeling, you create a force that is nearly impossible to stop. Consistency also works because it keeps you aligned with divine timing. There are seasons in life when the manifestation of your desires may take longer than expected. Without daily declarations, it's easy to become discouraged or distracted during those times. But when you speak your truth every day, you keep your vision alive. You continue to water the seed of your desire until the harvest comes, no matter how long it takes. Florence Scovel Shinn compared this to sending out a ship. You do not call it back just because it hasn't returned immediately. You trust that it is on its way, and you keep the harbor clear for its arrival. In the end, daily declarations are a discipline of alignment. They are how you remind yourself, over and over again, that life is working in your favor, that blessings are flowing to you, that you are guided, protected, and provided for. They train your mind to expect good so consistently that you no longer have to force the belief. It becomes the lens through which you see the world. And when you see the world through that lens, it reflects back to you exactly what you have been declaring all along,